Happy New Year, everybody. Man, 2026. We're feeling good. We're wearing black as we always do for all the inaugural migration groups, man. Chris, how was your New Year's?
What is good? 2026. We're in the building. We are feeling good here. I feel like, we don't really get a bunch of time off because we just kind of work all the time, but it felt like an extended break of like the real world. It felt like a lot of the real world shut down. So the online world still as hectic as ever, but the real world, I feel like got a nice break. But I think that this is going to be the biggest year that not only we've ever had, but the industry has ever had. So couldn't be more excited for where we are and where the industry is broadly as well.
Yeah, bullish migrations, bullish the market. It's kind of just as we predicted literally 3 months ago on 1010. We said that there was going to be a Santa rally. We were about a week too early. But without further ado, though, our fourth and amazing and most diverse migration group
Let's go.
has just begun. For those that don't know, we also host a live stream. So we have pinned up to the top the spaces as well as the live stream for those who like to watch as we'll go through the migration process as well as talk with all of our migrating teams. This group of January 6th, we've been coordinating for quite some time. And it looks like Oob is already in the lead with 3.7%. We do have one team, Solaris, which did a month migration from the Pump Fund group of the end of last year. But all of our 10 amazing teams who began our migration today: Out of Body, Experience, Hyperswap, Opus, Cupsy, Trisig, Send It, Ori, Hocico, Knockout Games, and Duck AI, migrating to Pump Fun, Bonk Fun, Meteora, and Radium. These are our first also Meteora
Let's go.
migration groups. Man, it's we got a full suite with the migration platform, and hopefully at some point next month we can actually make this public. I know all of our Migrate family is excited. I do see some of the alumni in the crowd as well as some people from the teams. Today we do have on stage Knockout Games, Out of Body Experience, and invited Hocico, I think, is on stage. I don't know if the Twitter Spaces is rugging me or not. But what to dive into a little bit more details, and then we'll go around the horn. Here you see all of the teams started today on the 6th, and I believe the majority of the migrations end in 2 weeks. I think only one team chose 7 days, which is Trisig, and then the large majority end on the 20th, followed by Hyperswap, who's ending on the 22nd. So we're going to be having all of these closed out within about 2.5 weeks. And I know everybody's really, really excited today. So without further ado, I'll start going around the horn. I'll start with Hocico, who is migrating, or I should maybe even say upgrading, from Bonk Sol to Bonk USD1. And it seems like USD1 is the hot narrative right now. So really, really perfect timing. Hocico, what's good?
Hey, what's going on? Actually, I'm just going through. I'm about to post the link to get the migration portal information all set up and do a tweet about it. So I'm actually working on 2 things at once right now.
Yeah,
what's going on with you guys?
Yeah, I think Adam's also doing the same thing. That's why he's on stage, but not on the video stream, is he's going through and recording migration tutorial videos for all 10 of our teams that he will then post in the individual chats for each team to post from your official accounts. So look for that. Adam is our official migration tutorial. Man, Hocico, I'll come back around though as we handle that, and we'll say hello to everybody else. We do also have on stage Knockout Games, who's migrating from Bonk to Pump Fun. What's good, fellas?
Yeah, hey man, happy New Year, everyone. Yeah, super cool opportunity you guys have blessed us with.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Give us a little summary on what Knockout Games is.
Yeah, so we're basically building like a whole new suite of wager-based PvP gaming. So we knew that gaming as a whole didn't really reward players as they wanted to. The whole play to earn rush didn't exactly come to fruition that everyone thought it would, and we believe that the option is wager-based gaming. So, everyone can earn on every single game. And so we're going to build out a full platform that rewards players with, large lottery wins and, full-scale PvP battles.
Full-scale PvP battles. I absolutely love it. And we'll make our way around and dive into a little bit more details, but I do want to say hello to Out of Body Experience, or Oob. Man, you guys have been insanely active on the migration. Absolutely incredible to see. Happy New Year. How are we feeling?
Hello, how are you?
We're doing good. Would you love to give us a little brief summary on Oob?
Of course. So for anyone that obviously doesn't know me, I'm K6. I'm the co-founder and COO at Ubi Protocol. So essentially, I handle, the protocol narrative brand and essentially how Ubi transitions from our technology into an actual business. So obviously, we're doing this migration because Ubi isn't just like a meme experiment. It's infrastructure. We're building, agent systems that need stable liquidity, long-term execution, and real usage. So it's not really short-term mechanics. Staying where we were at Pump Fun V1 would have permanently capped what we can build. So moving to migrate.fun, using your platform to, move to Radium and get this, fee structure, it will enable us to build on our agent infrastructure, build on our RPC, and basically just get it out there more.
Yeah, as a fellow AI project, the first migration on Migrate Fun was actually our own AI project called Agent Hustle. And we actually built the platform with that exact mentality, was that, hey, we're, a revenue driving company, and we need to be able to perform through a variety of avenues. And, the old Pump Fun, it was built to where there were no LP fees, as well as for a lot of teams like ourselves, we weren't able to acquire a lot of the tokens. So we were kind of between a rock and a hard place. And we also migrated to a Radium CPMM with an unlocked liquidity pool to give ourselves some options. And it seems like for utility based, or you say, I guess, ICM based migrations, the communities tend to like that, to see teams taking any type of measure to try to build different revenue models. So, really applaud to you. And we'll continue on with our fellow AI brethren. What exactly is Ubi? I'm sorry, I pronounced it Oob earlier. And I'll have it here pulled up on the live stream as you kind of dive through.
No, it's fine. A lot of people get the pronunciation wrong just because it is such a, I'd say, odd name. It's got a good story behind it, a good lore behind it, but it can be confusing to people because when they think of, Ubi, they think of Oob, the Windows protocol. So we're trying to sort of move away from that. But yeah, basically, Ubi itself is agent infrastructure. So identity, memory, execution, and economic rails is basically the plumbing agents need to operate in the real world, which is what we're trying to do. One of our first, live pieces of that is Synapse, our production RPC, which is already being used and monetized. It's not really just a theory to us. It is a running software we're trying to build into a fully established business and hopefully take over the entire agent market. But yeah, moving with the migration, as I said, we're trying to set the financial rails, the economic rails, and moving to migration, it basically just gives you more revenue to then funnel into, let's say, community incentives, infra. And yeah, it's going to allow us to expand our agent base tenfold, allow us to scale up our team long term, allow us to, recruit new devs. So I see no negative to this migration. Obviously, Migrate.fun will cover this a lot. Be careful who you trust in this time. Make sure you're only getting information from the authentic accounts. So the Migrate.fun account, the Ubi account, or you will get someone trying to steal your tokens. And that's just a harsh reality about this world. So just be careful. But this is a beneficial, segment for basically all of the projects on this migration rail.
Yeah, there are tons of scammers in the migration world. It's crazy. Last time we counted, there was like 15 fake accounts in the DMs trying to scam people. So always make sure that you look for the badged accounts. It's the easiest way to identify if somebody is real or not, is looking for that badge. Ratoshi on the live stream says GM, also one of our popular Migrate Fund investors. Seems to always be picking winners in the migration rounds. There's always
Sir.
go absolutely insane. Ubi, I do have here pulled up on the live stream. I'm going through the website. I see you guys have a DApp builder, or you have a DApp, AI builder, agent creator, and a PFP generator. Isn't it kind of funny how vibe coding is one of the first narratives to take off, whether that's in crypto or not, at the start of the year? How does Ubi plan to, incorporate that, if that is some, I guess a popular venture that could go down, or just outside of that, the plans for 2026 as you expand post migration?
Of course. So obviously we're establishing our company early this year. We're trying to, get the rails for that, get that set up, get essentially be a trusted candidate in the AI world. But yeah, we've been basically vibe coding since the start of Ubi. We vibe code quite a lot. We do code, obviously with a true focus on several things. But yeah, especially with the PFP generators, stuff like that, we're always trying to, bring some fun into the project, because, infrastructure heavy projects can be very confusing, not really community friendly. So we're trying to integrate every aspect of our original lore, which is like a King of the Hill style out of body experience, into a fully established AI company essentially. But yeah, we're looking into joining hackathons. We're trying to go to Solana events in real life, and yeah, we're just trying to expand as much as possible, join as many spaces as possible, and just engage with the community and reward them as much as possible, because that is so much more important than people actually realize in this space.
You guys have done a great job also branding the migration on the site. So props to you. As we have been building our own AI platform, Agent Hustle, we've seen a lot of AI crypto projects really take a dive over the last year. I think some of it came to maybe we're too early or the UI complexity is still hard to understand for some users. How are you guys plan to make it easier for crypto natives to understand how to intertwine AI agents with the on-chain economy and find edges, whether it's trading agents or building AIs or app building and so on?
Yeah, 100%. And I'd say personally, we've been hit quite hard as well, not as hard as others. But yeah, definitely the whole agent ecosystem has been hit off. I feel like it's partly because there's sort of a hype segment that there was, early last year with all of the infinite backrooms hype, everything going on there with AI systems. But we're not just a hype project. And this migration essentially gives our chart and project a fresh start, I call it. We get to start again and go even harder. We already have the infrastructure, we already have the technology. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting to move forward at the stage we're at, and then develop more on building the product and the company into something that people can use and have an almost highly accessible experience. We're trying to, make our AI systems as verifiable and understandable as possible. So when AI is adopted in the way we see it being adopted, Ubi is one of those first competitors people do look at. All of our systems are, on-chain systems. They're completely verifiable. You can see exactly what your agent's doing. And I feel like that's a big step in the process of, building an AI project. A lot of them are hidden away. If you go to ChatGPT, for example, you're type in a prompt and it will give you an answer, but it won't really tell you how it got to that answer. But we show every single step. Our X402 Explorer, it allows you to navigate, agent payments and see basically the whole web of how these payments work, how they interact, how they go between each other. And then that is all powered by our Synapse RPC, which is essentially an RPC tailored for these agentic systems. It allows you to access the Ubi SDK and all our tools by using our RPC, and we've had very, very positive experience on it. So yeah, I'm excited for this almost new chapter in our book.
Yeah, it's exciting times. Pensive Shepe says, yo, good to see you. Happy New Year.
Legend.
I see Adam is sending out tutorial videos to all the migrating teams, so look for those so that you can post. And a little update on the migration so far. We are 20 minutes in. Ubi has 3.8%, Hocico in second with 2.8%, and Hyperswap in third with 1.4%, and a handful of teams on the board above 0.5%. So starting off strong into the new year. Chris, any questions for Ubi?
Yeah, what do you think about the moment? What do you think about the moment that we're in now and how Claude is kind of having its exact moment, its ChatGPT moment from basically a year ago? How do you feel that that positions you going into the next year? How do you feel like it maybe positions competitors or new entrants to the market in the stage that you're building towards? Basically, what do you think about the state of broad-based general coding AI and what the next 6 months might entail for not only just Ube, but the broad AI market altogether?
Of course, man. And I feel like this, big adoption of us seeing different AI, sort of competitors almost like spreading out. They're sort of going in their own directions, but also trying to compete with each other in some sort of like magical way. It's almost like a neural link, right? Everyone's sort of competing for the same thing, but they're going off on like sort of different approaches to it. But I'd say it's a very, very positive thing for us because we're building the infrastructure that not only, supplies agent tools and all of this, we're building the infrastructure that allows people to build on top of our systems their own AI protocols and their own systems. And as people come in, you see it a lot with the the real world, especially with OSs, for example. People aren't building a brand new OS out of nowhere, their own compiler, right? They're using other people's compilers that have already been built. So we hope when this flood of people coming in to build AI projects comes into the crypto system, They come on and they see, oh, it's already built for me. I can just build on top of this. And we become the layer that is sort of, you know, like the foundation and rail that people can build on top of. So yeah, in the next 6 months, I see us sort of like, I don't want to give any, you know, sort of, what do you call it? High expectations, but I see us being one of the main competitors. And that is our goal, to be sort of the face of AI, especially on Solana and in crypto. And yeah, we're doing all the things right. We're talking with VCs, we're establishing new partnerships, we're migrating and setting up our business. So I see no way that we don't succeed with, you know, the sort of onslaught of new AI development coming into the ecosystem.
Love to see it. I mean, it feels like this year is going to be AI everywhere. I'd be shocked if that wasn't the case. So I feel like you're pretty good, in a good position for kind of that narrative. Lastly, what do you think about migrations? Where were you when you heard about migrations? What was your initial thought? Had you thought about migrations prior to hearing about Migrate Fund and thinking that it was something that maybe was necessary, but you didn't have the tooling possibly to do yourself? Or just kind of walk us through, you know, the process of finding out about migrations, and then maybe, you know, how you approached your community and what the response might have been.
Yeah, so we'd heard about migration before, and we'd, you know, sort of looked into it quite a bit, but we did delay quite a bit because we've been speaking with, you know, sort of other people who have migrated, and we were looking at sort of the onslaught of scams going around in the migration phase. People were losing thousands of dollars from migrating and, you know, moving to a new token. But then we also saw so many benefits to it. It sort of allows you to get your own flexibility, your own sort of establishment. When you're sat on Pump Fund, for example, you're stuck in that Pump Fund ecosystem. Let's say Pump Fund dies and the volume goes down, which I very much doubt, right? But it could happen. You are tied to Pump Fund. You will lose volume. You will lose essentially the foundation that you're based on. And that's why we looked for, you know, migration options where we can sort of take control of what we're doing long term and not be affected by any sort of external, you know, pause. So we were looking at different migration providers, and we saw Migrate.fun. We obviously chose you guys. That's why we're here now, because we sort of wanted a clean, transparent migration path that prioritizes sort of legitimacy, long-term alignment, and wasn't really just about hype. It was about setting, you know, sort of right foundation for a real startup. Obviously, one thing I want to be clear on again is with any migration, scammers will show up fast. You guys say about it a lot. So obviously, please only interact with the Ubi official links and authentic Ubi page. If it's not coming from, you know, our verified channels, please do not touch it. We will never DM you, rush you, or ask you to act urgently. So that is a big thing with migrations. But yeah, I see it being a positive flow forward. The scam awareness thing is a very major step in it, because if you do lose your tokens to a scammer, there is no promise we'll be able to get them back, as we don't own the liquidity pool or token. So it is completely at your own discretion what you do. Just do not go for scammers, for example.
Stay safe out there, friends. Stay safe.
I mean, lastly, just, it sounds remedial, it sounds redundant, but seriously, some of these scammers are really good. And there's a lot of moving parts. There's thousands of community members that are moving millions or up to billions of tokens, right? So there's so many moving parts. It is extremely important to make sure that you only follow the official links, only follow the official accounts. And it sounds really dumb, but in every migration cohort, no matter how many times it's said, people will always get caught in some sort of scam. And those tokens, like we said, you know, they don't have the tokens to refund them. We don't have any tokens to refund you guys. We don't touch the team's tokens. So the community members that do get caught up in the scams are unfortunately at a loss. But, you know, we're really excited about this migration group. This is what Migrate Fund was built for. Previously, all of the migrations that we've had have led to this moment where, if you look on the interface of Migrate Fund now, it's a completely diverse group of communities moving to each different output path that we offer, whether it's Raydium or Bonk Fun or Pump Fun or Meteora. And, the platform itself was really built to give teams and communities the opportunity to move to where they will thrive best. And you can see that now, as there's no, hyper-focused group of teams moving in one particular direction or another. It's a totally broad, diverse group moving to wherever they think that they will thrive best. And so we're just excited that, we've reached this point at a platform where we can just offer these outputs and allow teams and communities to move wherever they will succeed the most.
Absolutely. A little update. Ubi in the lead at 4%, Ori at 3.8%, and Hosiko is at 2%. So we'll lead to Mr. Third Place. Hosiko, what is good, bro? You done handling some of the community?
I am. I got all my links posted, everything out there. Make sure I, got the info out there. So we're excited. Some things we're looking forward to is being part of the USD1 Eco. It just happens that it's heating up around the same time we're doing our migration. Oh, it looks like we just hopped up to 6.2%. Nice.
Winner. Let's go.
Getting there. And I'm sure it'll go up in time. Yeah, we're looking forward to USD1. We've been wanting to participate in that eco since it was brought up and discussed that it's going to be happening back in September. It was a process to go through everything to make sure we were ready for it. And, I think I heard something like 100 million is being unlocked in USD1 this month, liquidity alone. So as long as the market just keeps doing what it's doing and, BTC ranges, it's going to be a great month.
Tell us a little bit about the history of Hosiko Cat. From my understanding, you were one of the earlier Bonk Fund projects that launched over the summer and obviously have a big community base. So would love to know the history behind the meme and the story.
So, okay. On April 25th, we knew that Bonk was going to be launching or creating a launch pad. And we knew probably 3-4 days. It was always being discussed that Bonk's gonna create a launch pad. And I've worked in the crypto space, managing and projects, advising, and since 2020 I was advising. So I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna launch my first token ever. And what better place to do it than on Bonk, because they have such a great reputation as builders. And, we're going to do a straight up good old fashioned 2020 style honest launch. Like back then, it was always like you'd launch a token. There wasn't all these bundlers and all that crap, going on where they hire an MM and scoop up 80% of the supply and snipe tokens and all that good stuff. So I was like, we're gonna go old school, and because I was in tons of trenches, and we're gonna launch a token, and then we're just gonna drop the CA in every trench chat while it's still bonding. Give everyone the same equal opportunity to buy the coin. And I just saw a trench scan. Someone scanned Hosiko in one of the trench chats at 27,300 market cap. 27K market cap. It was scanned in a trench chat by someone else. So, it's wild because you can, there's actual proof of these scans of how it was in multiple chats. And, so we did it. We were like, we're going to launch an honest coin on an honest launch pad, and we're not going to hire an MM to bundle, and we're just going to, build a community, because that's what Bonk's all about, communities. So April 25th, I launched it. Was literally did not sleep for 2 days. It just took off, and it just ran. At the time, there was a different coin that was at like 13 million market cap, and within 2 days, like Hosiko eclipsed that, ran to 30, and started coming back down, and then ran some more to I think like 40, and then started coming back down all the way to like 18, and eventually July it ran to like 74, which was awesome. And then ever since July, I mean, meme coin liquidity has just been horrible. The trenches have been dry, so it's just been grinding down and down. So yeah, it was a wild launch. It was literally the OG coin on Bonk. And so I'm excited to bring that to USD1. And since then, our community's only just grown. I mean, I can't believe that from the peak height of 76 million market cap to 2.7 right now, we literally lost like one whale in our huge whale group. That's it. That's just amazing. That goes to show how diamond hand these holders are and how much they actually believe in a project. So I'm really excited to get over to UST1. Plus, we have a bunch of stuff that is going to be happening. Tons of announcements that'll be dropping this week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun, and it'll be nice to see Hosiko run up the charts again. It already started prior to this migration, so it'll be great. I think people are going to be in for quite a surprise.
Adam, we have you back now. Now that you've tested all 10 migrations, good experience. Are you burnt out yet?
I didn't do 10. I did 6. I was like, oh, I can't go past the half hour. I got to get on the show. So I did 6. But yeah, it's all good. Everything's working well. Teams, check your telegrams. I did send out a bunch in there if you haven't seen them yet. But yeah, it's all working smooth, man. We got this down now.
Adam is the most migrated human on Earth. His passport book is stamped.
It's like Jake set up more migrations. I've done more migrations, right? I've done like nearly 50 migrations already. Yeah.
That passport book is looking thick, my brother. Looking good.
All right, we have 8 teams that now have over 1% migrated. Adam, after hearing the story of Hosiko, any questions?
Man, it's crazy, right? The meme coin season was something special, man, right? And for somebody who's been in crypto a while, we've all been in crypto a while now. Don't fade memes, man. Never fade memes. I mean, we've had 4 meme coin cycles. I think I wrote on the timeline the other day, like, when's it going to be the next meme coin cycle? They're not going anywhere. And so, teams that have built long-term with rich communities, I think will always do well long-term.
Yeah. Meme coins. I mean, the first meme coin cycle, right? 2013, it was food coins and geography coins, right? And animal coins, which seems to always tends to recreate itself. Every cycle, right? And then Doge was born during that meme coin cycle and ended up continuing. And then they moved from proof of work memes to proof of stake memes, right? Then to launch pads. And it'd be interesting to see now that the meme coin communities are denominating in things other than just the native quote token and doing it in USD1 itself. It's interesting. Chris, any questions for Hosiko?
Yeah, man, you just kind of like an aesthetics vibe from you. You experienced something that most humans on Earth never will. You launched something that immediately went to tens of millions of dollars in 24 or 48 hours. Give us the play-by-play. How was the vibe? What did you do? Give us the backdoor insight on how it was to launch something extremely successful overnight.
So my wife sent me to the grocery store with a list, right? This is the literal story. And I told the guys in multiple group chats, I'm gonna launch a token. And they're like, well, what are you gonna launch? I'm like, I have no clue. I'm like, but I'm gonna launch something. So I went to the store, and while I was in the store, I was like, there's this cat that's like super famous. It's orange and its best friend is a Shiba Inu, which is like basically Bonk. So I was like, that's the perfect narrative. You know what I mean? That's the perfect lore and that's the perfect narrative. So I based it off that. And when I launched it, you know, I locked up the dev supply for like 6 months and everything, and, you know, put all the tweets out. And it was absolutely wild. I did not sleep for like 48 hours because I did not know that, like, you know, you think you launch a meme and you walk away, right? Like, I launched a meme, job's done. Yeah, it goes way beyond that. Plus, since then, I mean, we've been doing all kinds of things. Like, we filed for our IP trademarks back in like June or May. I don't even know. Just to make sure that, you know, if anyone ever tries to vamp us, we legally have the right to have it, you know, taken down. Um, because branding is huge. Since it took off and it was popular and it was viral like almost overnight, we might as well protect our holders. You know, it was the craziest experience, and I've been working ever since. Literally, just building. I really don't know how to explain it. It's like, you know, you think you're gonna launch a coin, it's gonna run a 400K market cap, and then it just dies. Well, this just didn't do that.
Yeah, you didn't realize you were buying yourself a lifetime commitment, right?
Oh man, the life of a
Exactly,
token
exactly.
operator.
What was it more?
Exactly.
Was it more dopamine fueled fun, or was it more like, you know, cringe stress? Like, this token's so high, I don't really know what I'm about to do. What was the play by
No,
play in terms of like your emotions in those 48 hours?
it was straight dopamine. That's why I didn't even sleep. It was just straight. I was living off of dopamine and barely any food, couple cups of coffee here and there, because I was just like, wow, this is awesome. Like, you know, I was excited that a coin actually did that. Like, I never launched a coin, and then when I did, it just first coin. You know,
That's epic.
it was like it's like a lotto ticket in a way, right? Like, you buy a lotto ticket, you're like, oh, I could win. Chances are I'm not gonna. And you launch a coin, and you're like, this could go viral. Most likely, it's not gonna, but it does. And then you're just like, you're so excited. So, I've been constantly building ever since, because, you know, I'm trying to build a longer term token, which, as you probably have seen, I mean, now it's almost 9 months old, and it just Hosico's got like a community that's just so huge, and it's great. It's a great feeling to know that, regardless, you know, okay, some people are gonna get upset as usual that price went down, but it's a great feeling to see how large of a community just believes in it long term, regardless of today's price. It's amazing. I really didn't think those vibes existed in crypto still, but that was kind of like what I was shooting for when I launched it, you know?
Yeah, congrats, man. Excited for the migration to USD1. Hosico now sits at 6.4%. So we got almost everyone on the board, 8 teams over 1%. We got 3 teams over 5%. One of them that's at 4% is Knockout Games, who is here on stage with us. Gave us a little bit of a brief introduction as the next gen crypto entertainment company. They're doing wagering, real stakes, all kinds of stuff, and they'll be migrating over to Pump Fund. Would love for you to give us an in-depth analysis of the vision of Knockout Games.
Hey, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a gamer at heart. I've been running companies for the last decade myself. And basically, when I started using my spare time on gaming, like I guess everyone else does as well growing up, I started thinking like, it kind of starts feeling not like a waste of time, but there's a missing gap. Every single area of entertainment, the consumer also has a value add or a way that they can financially benefit from the industry. but gaming is larger than every other entertainment industry altogether. And I just couldn't quite put my head around how only arguably 10 to 15,000 professional creators, esports players, and online, digital creators could make money from gaming. And I thought there had to be an option. And we started looking around for what's out there, what was available to us. We just couldn't really find anything. We thought, well, this seems like too obvious of an idea to have an ability just like poker and the invention of PokerStars and everything around online poker, giving people the ability to arguably gamble, but realistically put some money, where their mouth is, and be able to play all these different games that they grew up with and that have been entertained in all this time and make some money. We believe that the industry needs to exist because it's just continuously growing, both the gambling industry, the gaming industry, and crypto as a whole. We just thought the intersection was perfect. So we started talking to people and building a team, and it's just really exploded ever since. Now we've got a bunch of games ready to go. We did a bit of a play test back in October, happened to be the local top at the time. But we've invested heavy in this. We're millions down, which we'd like to say is going to be up, and we're just going to keep on building. We've got some massive partnerships in the pipeline, huge licensing networks, everything we can imagine to really build this out and become the pioneer in the industry. So yeah, super excited. The team's been working their asses off for the last few years actually, so it's kind of nice to start seeing some fruition to it all.
I see here that there's a variety of games that are hosted on the Knockout site. There's Rug Arena, there's Tile Drop, you have the Venator and Orbit Carts. It goes on and on and on. And then obviously you guys have your podcast. Crypto gaming has been something that's been really hard to, I guess you would say, capture the minds of the industry, right? It's been kind of written off for a long time. We've talked about ad nauseum on this podcast of when that crypto gaming moment will finally happen. How's Knockout Games planning to introduce crypto gaming in a way that's not as extractive as kind of what the current existing perspective is around games, and also make it approachable to the non-crypto user that maybe doesn't even realize that crypto is integrated in some capacity?
Yeah, I think you've nailed it at the end there. The entire point is to eventually create an entire funnel with just basically crypto like guardrails. That will be your entire back-end infrastructure. But realistically, people should feel like they're just playing with USD or whatever it's going to be, and make it feel like they're basically just able to play with their money and bet quickly, short 5-minute games, get on, get off. But the difference we see is Ponzi-nomics shouldn't really exist within the gaming ecosystem. And that was the big issue with like Axie and all the other great ones, is because it was the greater, basically the greater fool. Who is going to be the last buyer? Because when those buyers ran out, the entire platform collapsed because it was completely inflationary. We're building a deflationary model. All the revenue, it basically gets recycled back into some way, whether it's through cosmetics, whether it's through giveaways, massive loot box rewards, revenue for buybacks, everything around it is just to keep growing the ecosystem, not to be just selling down tokens constantly like all these platforms did, promising the world and eventually collapsing. We want to do it differently because the poker model actually works. It sustains people because people aren't feeling like they're versing their house. It's not player versus house, it's player versus player. All we do is facilitate that action. We take a bit off the top so we can continue to function things as they go and build these massive reward pools that people haven't really seen in the ecosystem. We want to be giving away the largest reward pools in crypto, and we'll be able to continue to do that as we grow. And the migration offers so much value to us. We launched basically at that local top, as I said. So it's been kind of a rough time, but we had such an awesome experience with our playtest and everyone had such a good time on it. So we thought, hey, we've got to double down here and continue. And so, yeah, it's been super exciting for us.
So tell us a little bit about that tokenomics, like how that's going to work for players. Like give us a simple example of that.
Yep. So basically it's like a flywheel, right? players will be able to play with either their GG token or the Sol token, depending on what game you're wanting to play, how big the stakes you're wanting to play. And we basically take a 10% rake off the top there for every game you play. So you'd be jumping in with maybe 20 players. What people are putting in 0.1 Sol each. So there's 2 Sol on the pot. We'll just take 0.2 out of that. Half of that basically functions straight back into a progressive jackpot that can be won by any player entering those games. You're building up these tickets every single time you play a game, just like a lottery system or a raffle system. And those jackpot wars just keep growing until someone wins them. Basically, these tokens, then the other portion of the revenue is used to buy back and burn or pass out that supply to the winners of different games and tournaments. And then everything is just basically continuously recycled without any sort of, new tokens brought onto the market. What exists now is what is going to, be what exists forever.
And how does the migration to Pump Fund change the current tokenomics? And are you planning to integrate the creator reward system or the streaming features that Pump offers?
Yeah, the big thing for us is definitely the streaming features. Obviously, gaming really, really started to take off when people, I guess, which is kind of funny, began to watch gaming. The viewership on gaming is massive. And we realize all of our platform definitely offers value to be able to watch, what people are doing, what the creators are doing, what everyone wants to do. We can host awesome tournaments through streaming. We can really grow our audience that way. And then we're able to add features like being able to bet and back your streamers for the games that they play. And you're able to be rewarded based on what they're doing and how much success they're having in the games. We think this is just another cool feature that's going to come out of this system.
So you're planning to restream games through the GG on Pump?
Yes, absolutely. So at the start, it's going to be through our official channels. And then as we release some of our upcoming streamers that we're partnering with across the Pump Fund ecosystem to help grow our network, ambassador program and whatnot, all the different partnerships we've got coming, as well as, a big partnership we've got going with Solana Mobile. So we'll be releasing our games onto mobile, and the first rollout will be to the Solana Mobile Seeker devices. So that's super exciting for us. And so there's going to be special rewards for those users. And then we're going to begin to roll out as the licenses come through onto the Apple Play Store, as well as the, Samsung Google Play Store as well.
Wow. Yeah. As I'm having this conversation, I'm thinking, man, I need to connect you with Pyro, who's a Pump Fund streaming platform that connects advertisers to Pump Fund streamers. They were in our last migration group. So I'm gonna have to connect you with them. That'd be a perfect fit. But Adam, I have a question for you. Is crypto gaming going to make a comeback, or is it going to change into, something more like what Knockout Games is doing, where it's not essentially a, full-on metaverse like something Other Side is trying to do, and more games that are integrating some of the more modern components like streaming?
Well, this is the inside joke, guys, for anybody who missed our end of year show. This is one of my predictions was gaming has its like real moment in crypto. I just think it's ripe. And I don't, obviously, if I knew the way, it would, we've already built it, right? I mean, I don't know the way. It's going to take a lot of different experimentation, but I think, these shots on goal, which Knockout is obviously trying one particular way, somebody's going to hit it. And when it hits, it's going to be massive. And we're all going to look back and go, oh, of course, because it's one of these things where in-game assets, in-game items, these all just make sense to be, tokens that people can own rather than held by a centralized company. So I just think it's just a matter of when. And so whether or not Knockout has the secret sauce, like maybe, so I always appreciate teams making more shots on goal.
I think Adam's guess was that GTA was going to do it, right? Is that what it was?
Well, that's, yeah. My theory is that a big gaming company just does it. And then it's obvious, rather than small crypto teams trying to create games. But then again, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because I do know a lot of dedicated people who are trying to make this happen.
Yeah, that's always the downstream effects. Knockout, what do you guys think about just the gaming sector in general? Do you think a traditional gaming company like GTA or something like Roblox has a chance to integrate crypto, and then that just basically opens the floodgates to crypto gaming in general? Or more, do you think a crypto native company is going to be able to break through to the mainstream?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a bit of a mix here. I think the crypto native have a small advantage from the avenue of what crypto users want, but the gaming companies definitely have the advantage of what gamers want, and that's kind of been the disconnect on both sides. That more reason why it hasn't happened yet is because crypto people have been building for crypto audiences, not gaming audiences, and on the opposite side of it, these gaming companies aren't really rewarding players enough with crypto. I think you're absolutely right. I think GTA 6 is going to nail it. There's been talks about it for a while. The addition of adding casinos into their products. We've got a company with a partnership with Take-Two. Some of the owners of Rockstar Games and Grand Theft Auto. So we're quite entwined in what they're doing over there. So some really exciting stuff that's about to come out there. But I think it's going to be a mix. I think indie has taken over the gaming, sphere right now. AAA has been having a little bit of a struggle. People aren't so happy with how they spend their money in gaming. So it looks like they're a little bit of a dry season on how games are spending money. So I think people would like to see an option to be able to earn some money back from gaming, because they've spent decades, having money only going out. So I think everyone's going to appreciate what's coming.
If I could make any money back from all the hours I spent on Crash Bandicoot when I was younger, man, I would be a goddamn millionaire. Chris, any questions for Knockout?
Man, just super impressed about what you guys are building. Feels like it's like one of the most legit kind of Web3 game studios that I've seen. And obviously just, love chatting it up with you. What are you most excited about? Is it a particular game? Is it maybe just a niche of games that you have coming up in the near term? What is most exciting for you that's coming up in the near term?
Yeah, we've been experimenting with a lot of different game styles, and we've realized the perfect mix we've kind of stumbled upon is skill crossing with chance. It's not all skill and it's not all chance.
Right.
Tile Drop especially is a super cool game that we've got coming out. It's just a platformer with up to 20 players running around on 100 tiles, and you don't know which one's going to explode and drop. And it gets faster and faster and faster until the last one is surviving and he wins the pot. So it's super exciting stuff. Then we've got another game we've got to run up, like an Avalanche style game. You probably played in Halo back in the days. You've got to run up this steep hill with tanks and everything flying at you, and you've got to get as far up the hill as you can until the time runs out, and the furthest up the hill wins the pot again. So it's just going to be some super cool social battles. Social gaming is just really awesome, especially when you're integrating streamers and you'll be able to play with the Web3 communities, able to set up your own tournaments within your community, and you as the owner of that community can put the prize pool up so your players can just use it as a reward system. I think there's just so many angles we can go with.
What do you think about a more simple route? What do you think about just enabling Web3 crypto gaming payments and betting on more simple games, like maybe something like Monopoly or Risk or chess? I'm a chess player myself. One of our favorite ideas ever was just enabling Risk, but on chess. Like chess.com has 1 billion games a month played. How many of those people would translate to a game instead of just it being, a free based model where they can actually win money in between matches? How do you see kind of a more simple game with being upgraded by crypto rails rather than just kind of trying to build new experiences that haven't been done, and adding the crypto rails there? What do you think about that kind of thing?
I think that absolutely will work. I think the winner is going to be the person who has arguably, in my opinion, all. So not the one chess platform. It's a platform that has all the games, the one that can connect with everyone. You can go there and you can play all the simple games you grew up with, all the nostalgia. But everything we're designing is going to be super small and easy. It's 5 minutes max. It's none of this 40-minute game where you're stuck there, not knowing if you're going to win or lose. We're going to be building out, even things we've got like paper, scissors, rock coming out. We've got our own little auto chess coming out. We've got all of that coming out, but it'd just be so much better. You buy one cosmetic on our platform and you can use it across all your games, and then the rarity is going to be there forever. We just want to be able to layer it all in. But yeah, there's fiat models already. Skills.com does it with Tetris and whatnot. But I do think the advantage of crypto is just allowing you to be bit more exciting around what you can do in the regulated space.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm sitting up here and I'm having like extreme flashbacks to 2008, whether it's Ubi with building AI agents, which reminds me of like building the app store, games in the or kind of, building actual apps in the app store. And with you reminds me of, building small games that went into the app store. And it just feels like we're rehashing the 2008 iPhone moment, but with crypto rails. And I think that we've kind of been waiting for this moment forever. And I think all the tech is finally ready to give distribution and platform building to basically anyone that wants to try it. So I think you're in the right spot. I feel like everyone up here is in the right spot, and I feel like crypto that's going to be powering all this stuff is finally, after so many years of building, in the right spot. So pretty excited to be here.
Yes. There is a battle for first place in the migration leaderboard. We have Ori that's at 8.4%, Ubi at 8.3%, Hosiko at 7.3%, GG at 4.8%, and Cupsy at 3.5%, who is up here on stage. Cupsy, the Pump Fun mascot.
Looking good.
How is it going, Cupsy?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for having me up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for having me up and for helping us creating a way for this to happen and be possible. It's a pleasure to be up here with you guys and with the rest of the teams.
Yeah, excited to work with you. Cupsy is upgrading through migrating from the OG Pump to Pump Swap. But Cups, I'd love to just get a little bit of the background story. How did you become the Pump Fun mascot? What's the the history behind the logo, and anything else related to the meme?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Actually, a very interesting and funny story behind this. Cupsy, essentially Happy Pill Co. It's a IRL business first and foremost before the idea of Cupsy even happened. So somewhere around November of last year, well, no, not last year, I'm over here thinking it's 2025, so 2024, there was basically a reputable YouTuber, or also, he's pretty reputable here in the crypto space, as Orangey. I guess he stumbled upon one of our plushies via Etsy, and he ended up purchasing one, and he posted a picture about it on X. And just to kind of sum it up there, that's kind of how this all blew up and everything. And we started to see a ton of interaction and just purchases increasing on plushies, and we're like, what in the world is going on? So then when we jumped on X and we started to see the picture of Cupsy going all over the place, people ordering plushies left and right, that's essentially how, by the way, the name came up for Cupsy as well, was through Orangey. And then we had Alan and some other pump enthusiasts essentially interact with the plushie and with all of these posts. And I believe at that time, the coin had went up to about 20 million. And we just knew we had an opportunity here to interact with this world, with this space, really to make the best of it and bring something, new to the space via plushies, kind of like what Pudgy Penguins is doing and has done, which, by the way, they've done a phenomenal job, and we congratulate them for that. But yeah, it's an IRL business that started really. I mean, any purchase that's made, we match and we actually donate to a local children's hospital, and that's how the business is essentially sustained, is by the purchases and support of the people, and we were able to incorporate like a flywheel to any essentially plushies that are purchased. A portion of it now goes back into the chart as well, and a few other things that we've been working on in the background that of course we'll just keep reserved until the time comes. But yeah, that's pretty much to summarize it up for you. That's a quick to give you a quick idea of where we come from.
It sounds like you guys are cooking up something for once the migration ends. Everyone can be a little bit surprised and excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we've got we've been working a lot on our website and just talking with a lot of reputable people. Again, just things that we'll just keep reserved for now until the time comes. And a lot of good things are happening. I can say that. Right now our chart it looks like it's in a pretty good consolidation area at the moment. We're really not too concerned about it because we know what we have. We know what we do. We're beyond serious about being in this space and supporting other people as they support us. And yeah, we want to be the best that we can be and essentially market Pump Fun and represent them well. And yeah, we're very excited to be a part of this. So again, to all the migration team, Migrate.fun, all of you guys, just thank you for making this possible, for us being able to have this option as teams that really want to scale things at higher levels at a different pace or really whatever. But these tools, these functions that you guys are providing is just nothing short of phenomenal. So really thank you for those efforts. Thank you for everything that you do. And it's an absolute pleasure to be able to move forward with this. So thank you so much.
Yeah, well, I really do appreciate that. We do from the Migrate Fund team. Yeah, it's always an opportunity for people to scale, to move to different communities. It's really just putting the power back in the creator's hands. You earn that liquidity. You should be able to move it wherever you would like, and obviously
Absolutely.
to find the best ecosystem or the best opportunity that fits you well. I have two questions from my end. One is, how many plushies have you sold since you guys entered the crypto space? And then once you do upgrade to PumpSwap, do you plan on utilizing the streaming feature or any of the creator rewards in a different way that hasn't been introduced yet?
Yeah, of course. So to your first question, I mean, I don't have like the exact numbers in front of me, but to be honest with you, and this is no exaggeration, but well over 50,000 plushies
Wow.
have been moved, and that's a mixture of donations and just a ton of good things that have been happening. But yeah, well over 50,000 plushies. I mean, we almost basically went out of stock completely when when Orangey had interacted, and we were just getting orders like it was so much to handle. But we got through it, and yeah, it's been a ton of supply that's been that's been shipped and delivered out there. But and so yeah, so there's that. And with regard to the creator fees, yeah, look, so we seen such an opportunity. It was such a great thing that Pump Fund decided to implement with this creative fees, being that we obviously have an IRL business that we have to use funds to keep that afloat, and obviously to keep ourselves employed properly. But these creator fees, they really help us to focus and narrow down community initiatives. It helps us to kind of be able to give more of a purpose to the supply and to the fees that are coming in. So yeah, we're going to be without being able to give so much detail, but we'll be doing some very interesting things, whether that be with the live streaming feature and other items and so forth. There's a good amount of other stuff that's being planned, but of course, we'll just keep that in house for now. But I just encourage everyone, stay tuned, watch us closely. We are really doing the best that we can and the most that we can to get Cupsy the eyes that it deserves. And there's some very interesting things that are coming up. So stay tuned, follow us, and yeah, we welcome anyone and everyone to our community, interact with us, join us, and you'll see what's to come.
Bro, when are you gonna do the Gary V live social selling, bro? Just start the channel up and just 24/7 social selling the plushies, man. Hardcore.
Yeah, look, there's definitely with regard to merch and a few things. Look, I'll just say this, right? I this is the most that I'll say. There's just we have something planned with the live streaming feature that we haven't really seen anyone else do. So I'll just leave it at that. Otherwise, I'll spoil it. But we'll you guys will see. It's gonna be the funniest thing in the world. But just stay tuned. That's the most that I can say. We are stepping out of the box, stepping out of our comfort zones, and we're doing something that that should definitely get a kick out of many people. I'll say that.
Very cool.
Chris, any questions?
No, man, just love seeing Cupsy on the timeline. Think it's incredibly funny. 50,000 plushies sold is wild. It feels like, you were made for this industry. I can only imagine what those sales are going to look like over the next coming year. So excited to get Cupsy on the move, baby.
Of course, and thank you guys so much for for this opportunity and for making things like this possible. So we can't appreciate you enough. So we just encourage you folks to keep up the good work. I'm pretty sure many other teams will continue to pursue this idea and these functions that you guys are providing. So keep up the good work and thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We will wrap it up here today. Awesome. Everyone say congrats to Hocico, Knockout Games, Ubi, and Cupsy for making the adventure to start off the new year. Man, these numbers are now kicking. We got Ori at 10% in the first hour, Ubi at 8.5, Hocico 7.4, GG 5.3, Cupsy at 3.5, and Hyperswap at 2.3, Trisig at 1.8, and Opus at 1%. All the teams chose 2 weeks. Yeah, Brett she says, holy shit, that's a lot of plushies sold. So yeah, that absolutely is a lot of plushies. If there's any questions, if anyone has any questions about migrations, you can always DM the Migrate Fund account. Again, please look out for scammers. There are tons of fake accounts out there. Look for the badges. There's probably scammers watching or listening to this now. So look for the badges, look for the official accounts. If you don't know, make sure you DM the official team members of the project you're migrating or one of us, and we are happy to help. Please follow all of the migrating teams on stage as they're making an adventure to the next realm to improve and scale the business. Also, make sure to follow the Migrate Fund account for all of the upcoming migrations as we expand and have plans to move the platform from private beta to public in the latter half of Q1. So that's February, March. So we'll continue to scale from there. Everyone, appreciate it. Happy New Year 2026, off to a great start. Everyone be safe out there. We'll be back here Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Until then, stay safe out there.
Later, guys.
Later, guys.